So welcome, Daniyal. I greatly appreciate your leadership. And as always, at Setsi, we begin by giving thanks to our creator, to our ancestors, to the original stewards of the various lands we're on. We give thanks to all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We give thanks to all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So Daniyal, please share with us and our listeners a little bit about your background and your remarkable work.
Well, thank you so much, Victor. Again, thank you so much for inviting me and giving people like me a chance to, come out there and, get the message out there to the people who are really interested in getting, doing the social work and leaving behind a legacy that actually can, be continued. So, well, again, Victor, thank you so much for having me here. It's really an honor. Talking about myself, my name is Daniyal Ayub. I'm basically from Pakistan, and I'm currently working with the managing director, the Paul Miles of the Busy Group, and we are currently working on a project where we can connect leaders. Now, talking about my experience, I've been in the digital marketing space for previous 5 or 6 years. And that's how I got a chance to work with with nonprofit industry. And Paul Miles was actually the one who took me into this world, and it was really a challenge at the start, but to be honest, I'm really loving it. So yeah, that's how my journey started in this whole different level of world where you're actually serving a purpose. Because the thing is that people today are after flashy things, right? Everybody's after some business, money, and stuff like that. But there are not a whole lot of people who want to serve for a purpose and a mission. And that's what really intrigued me. And that's how I started working in the nonprofit space.
That's incredible. Well, at Setsi, we're huge fans and supporters of social enterprises, social impact work, mission-driven businesses. And you're right, due to the extractive nature of capitalism, colonialism, and ultimately imperialism, there's been a lot of global challenges that are just clear and glaring. And any way that we can amplify the work of social innovators and social impact leaders in any sector, we're up for the challenge and to help with movement building. So my next question is, what challenges and barriers do you face in your work, and how are you and your team working to overcome them?
Right. So I'm right in the middle of the generation millennials and generation Z, and talking about that, so there's a huge difference between generations. So the previous generations, which didn't have enough technology and enough solutions or services that you could say that actually could help them do what they like and get out there and whatever the mission that they're trying to serve, and that makes it easier for them. It's like after 90s, I would say 95, well, 1995, when things started changing dramatically. So technology has been, there's a huge advancement after that. And if you look at the graph, the technology has been advancing a whole lot at a whole new level after, this period. So right, being born right in the middle, so in between the millennials and the generation Z, I think that I have a look and a grasp at the people who used to be before me and after me, because everything's changing, and being there, and you're looking at the changes, and you're looking at the the shift of mindset. So this what gave me an edge in the nonprofit industry. There are people who have been serving in the sector for previous 30-40 years, and they are not really ready to get used to the change of the technology that has been the advancement that have been going through. And with that, right now the child, and most of the donations basically would be before this time period, they would be from people over their 30s or in their late 40s, right? But now as the newer generations are coming in, it's really getting hard for them to trust different nonprofit organizations, whether they're making the right decision or making donations to the right people, and if it actually serves their purpose in the mission. So because of that, our major problem right now is to help nonprofit organizations to be able to put their message out there and be entrusted with the donations that have, because if you look at the graphs, the previous graphs, the newer generations are really actively getting involved. And this social stigma is it's already been broken of the nonprofit organizations where you would donate and you would just think that, okay, I did my part, but now it's up to the nonprofit organizations to do theirs. But now everybody's ready to actually make them accountable and ask for the things that they're actually doing with their donations. So right now this is the major problem. And like personally, me, I think of myself is to bridge the gap between these two generations. And how can we do that? That is technology.
I think that when we think about this work, a lot of times the philanthropic, charitable, nonprofit sectors are a lot of times speaking to the professional managerial class. So you'll see a lot of effort and intentionality on LinkedIn, but not so much on Instagram and other platforms and YouTube. Not so much contact engaging folks that may not be in the sector. And
Right.
in terms of your piece around folks, not just because we've always had, I believe these sectors have been built on the backs and the shoulders of volunteer power. But definitely there's always been a certain level of trust and a lack of due diligence in terms of, okay, well, how much of my resources is going to the marginalized, underserved group as opposed to the administration of said work, or as opposed to the wholesaler and intermediary. And I think that definitely in terms of the generations that you're speaking of, there is a lot more insights and activity. Like if you look at the Netflix documentary that recently came out, Give Directly, that framework of giving directly is very revolutionary. It's about removing administration and giving resources directly to the people in need, which is very different from when I was growing up, walking door to door, collecting money from UNICEF, Yeah.
Totally. And everything's happening online these days, right? And the targeted audience that we have, it's basically the newer generation, because the older generations are really not used to, doing all the stuff on their smartphones or their laptops. They're really sticking to the, the older types of, things like paper and pen and stuff like that. So the major problem, and there's a whole new level of solutions if we use technology to basically bridge the gap. And so the older generations are already coping up with that, with that gap, and that they're using social media platforms right now. Most of the times it is YouTube, it is Google, it is Facebook. But there are new social media platforms that are coming on the face of the internet. And as me falling in between these two generations, I am ready to accept the newer social media platforms as a means of communication. But the older generations are really not ready to do that. And if we could come up with some way that could actually do that, it would be really remarkable. And we are able to cover the whole new level of audience online, which you used to, because currently most of the budgets are going out into physical plus into online, so it's being divided. And so what you call it, the term being cost effective, it's really not there yet. And if you're able to do that, and things start leveling up and you make the most out of the money that you spend, you get better results, and with better results you're automatically serving for your purpose better.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Your generation is definitely more about click and order than brick and mortar. And the brick and mortar framework versus click and order. But
Couldn't
I think
agree more.
that definitely there's an importance to intergenerational collaboration and finding ways and means to mitigate some of the challenges. And I think a lot of times our elders and seniors and older folks in the community may not have the clear understanding of some of the technology that's being used or the perspectives and actual insights of young people. But I think as well, young people and younger generations may not have the reverence, honor, and respect for the lived experience of elders. Because a lot
Right.
of times I find around many social justice movements that are trying to advance justice, access, inclusion, diversity, and equity, there is this model where younger folks think they discovered racism or discovered environmental crises or
True.
poverty or homelessness, not recognizing that these are intergenerational struggles, that there's
Yeah.
folks that have developed models and frameworks, manuals, guidelines, since time immemorial. So I think once again, it's finding that balance and that discernment around intergenerational collaboration and looking at it from a lens of compromise and prudence and wisdom. So I couldn't agree more with the sentiments that you bring. So my next question is, what is your ultimate goal and what does success look like to you and your colleagues?
Right. So currently working as the digital marketing director at the Cost Connect project. It's basically of creating a community of leaders in the nonprofit space. And what we are trying to do here is to bring them all together on a one single platform where they can actually talk about their problems that they face. So as there's a social stigma of nonprofits not being able to tell to the people or to the world that how they're doing exactly. So they keep it hidden because of majorly two reasons. First thing is that there's a kind of a race between different nonprofit organizations that, hey, we are able to gather more and raise more donations and charities as compared to you. So we are basically serving a better purpose than you. So to bring that onto that platform, that problem. And the second reason is that if you sort of portray yourself as a weak nonprofit organizations in terms of financial circumstances, the donations are automatically going to go down because of the lack of trust that has now started to come in between you and the donors. So to bring that into perspective, if you can create a community where different leaders can help each other with their problems, that would be a totally different level of collaboration where nonprofit organizations are working hand in hand and trying to serve their purpose while staying streamlined towards their mission. Plus, on top of that, now they're basically contributing towards each other's mission, bring in more donations, more help, more purpose, and serving better their mission on top of that. So we as a team, we as this Cause Connect project, we are trying to work on that where leaders can actually be able to share their knowledge with the problems and their experiences. Plus, mergers and acquisitions is the major thing that we are trying to go with to help different nonprofits, smaller with the bigger ones and the bigger one with the smaller ones. And if we can go that way and make it a lot easier, it would be really able to help our purpose better. And that's our mission of doing if I were to streamline the project.
That's incredible. So my last question, do you have any closing thoughts or call to actions for our listeners and viewers?
Yes, definitely. If I mean, definitely, if leaders of nonprofit spaces are listening to this, and if people who want to be the future leaders, they can definitely join us and into bringing this mission into a vision, and be able to help this project. And you can join us in our you can definitely show the website, I believe, Victor.
Absolutely, my friend.
All right, so you'll definitely be getting a link down there. You can come visit the website and join the project.
Well, thank you so much, Daniyal, for your leadership and your tenacity.
Thank you so much.
And as always, we'll close the interview the way we began, by giving thanks to our creator, to our ancestors, to the original stewards of the various lands we're on. We give thanks to all those who toiled without compassion and compensation. We give thanks to all our elders, the community stalwarts, whose shoulders we stand on as we share, build, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you so much. And that is actually beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Victor, and have a good one.